We hit start recording. Okay. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, so YouTube people, I don't have anything for you because it's been very stressful these last couple minutes.
He's not wrong.
Well, I'll go ahead and share that, Dirk, I'm on your side, that teleporting resets velocity.
Oh, so you're a little bitch.
Yes, I am.
Did you not play Portal fast in, fast out, man?
Oh, well, that's moving through a gate. Of course you keep velocity.
Oh yeah, that's not
That's not
teleporting.
teleporting.
My bad.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I forgot the conversation from before because I was not paying attention because I don't like any of you.
Well, I liked the physics from it was one of the BattleTech books was talking about there was a ship traveling at full speed, and then they were going to jump, which in the BattleTech universe, when you go from one star to another, you essentially create a bubble around yourself, and then it's I guess kind of like a wormhole. I don't. It's you create a bubble of space around you, and then you shrink and then reappear in another star. Like you dematerialize in one place and rematerialize in another place.
Oh, so it is a teleport. It's not a bubble like an Alcubierre warp drive. It's a bubble like a magical something.
Well, it's like you're creating the bubble that's being produced is the bubble that's like everything within this is about to be teleported or to be um, uh, transported from one place to another. It's
Okay.
not like warp drive or hyperdrive or anything like that where you're traveling through another dimension or it's you it's yeah you it's more like a kind of like not quite like a Stargate. But yeah, it's you create a space distortion around yourself, and then you dematerialize and then rematerialize in that other place. But in doing so, they were questioning is like, so if we do this, are we going to fly apart when we come back out? And there was like, no, we actually shouldn't even be moving because we're not under thrust. We're just we're just traveling,
Oh
and
my
the
god.
ship
Yeah.
is going to make the space around it. So when it comes out, we technically won't even be moving because we're not accelerating. If we were accelerating when we did this, that would be bad.
Okay.
But if we don't accelerate,
Dirk, shut up. Okay, there you go, YouTube people. You got Dirk getting deep in the weeds on some stuff that is completely unrelated to the topic of the episode.
You did it. I shut him down before you opened the box back up.
It was Mike.
Oh man, I was hoping Brian was going to mislead you into forgetting about me.
I can
I
never
do
forget
that.
you, Mike. Okay, here we go. Oh, jam. I got nothing. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mana Pool. We're going to go rapid fire through this because we're starting way later than we meant to. This is episode 759 of the Mana Pool. I'm Chewy. I played Zelda 1, 2, 3, 5, and then pretty much stopped. And then eventually I played the remake of Link's Awakening. Brian is here. He's played damn near all the Zeldas.
I played a lot of them. Not all of them. I've never played like Spirit Tracks.
That doesn't count. Who's after Brian? Mike is here. I don't know what Mike has played. I know he played
I
Majora's
dabbled
Mask.
in 1 and 2 and went hard on Awakening, Ocarina, and Masks. Oh, and I also dabbled in Wind Waker.
So this will be a Mike episode. And Dirk. I don't remember what Dirk played either.
I played a lot of the early stuff.
Okay. So there you go. We're talking about more Legend of Zelda. I would ordinarily, we'd screw around for a little while here at the beginning. But like I said, we're starting way later than anticipated. We probably should have actually started like half an hour ago, but I was talking about Halo, and then there were light computer issues, and then Dirk nerded out. If you want to hear that, go to the YouTube version. Uh, but now we're here. Last time we covered The Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, which is the only one that's not called The Legend of Zelda. It was called Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, which I don't think we mentioned on that episode. That's kind of weird, right?
I don't know that we
Oh, yeah.
mentioned that
Yeah, I don't think-
specifically.
Yeah, we didn't point that out.
It wasn't.
They were determined to, do something different.
It wasn't The Legend of Zelda 2. It was just Zelda 2. It's very strange. And then we did A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. And that's where we stopped. So now we're going to jump into Link's Awakening for the Game Boy, also the Game Boy Color, also the Nintendo Switch, weirdly. And then Ocarina and hopefully Majora's Mask all on this episode. So, terribly sorry to just ramp right into the topic. I know some of you enjoy us screwing around, but that's what the odds and ends are for. You should go listen to that.
And listen to the nerding.
In 6 months when I finally post it. I've really got to get back on that. Also, you know what? Right here at the beginning, by the way, happy Extended Pride. We're still in the Manapool special Extended Pride because we forgot to say Happy Pride during Pride Month. So you get a 2-month extension from us. Which, it's now August, what's today? 13th. It's Thursday the 13th.
Today is the 13th, yeah.
So, happy Extended Pride, everybody. Be yourself. As long as it's safe to do so. Hopefully one day we'll get to the point where it's safe for everyone to be themselves and we don't have to do this crap anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We can hope.
And also while I'm here, speaking of the odds and ends, I'd like to thank our patrons at the beginning of the show. What? Because why not? So thank you to Al, Kim Ho, Scuzzo, Jake Jansons, Michael, Timio Hellos Haru, Jason Kaus, Jason Doan, Casey, ALK Alters, and Andrew Odie. Yay. I love you all. So, patreon.com/themanapool. So, Link's Awakening on the Game Boy had serious limitations.
Yeah, being on the
hardware limitations, meaning there were only 2 buttons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so in the first game you had
more like the
in the first game you had your sword button. There was always the sword button. And then you had the other button, which was for whatever item you had equipped. So, your candle button or your arrow button or whatever. But in Link's Awakening, they decided you can just put whatever item you want on whatever button. So you could have like the sprint shoes. That was new in Link to the Past. And the jump feather. So you could do running jumps. But if you had those equipped, that means you didn't have a sword or a shield, because the shield had a button to push to do things. What? That was the main thing that I remembered about this. So I have cut Mike off twice now. I feel like Brian. Go, Brian. Go, Mike. Steve. What is your name? Billy Bob?
But yeah, so working under a lot similar restrictions as the original Nintendo console. And not even having all the colors, which also made for some interesting things, and also gave the opportunity for bonus features for the special DX version that did special stuff with the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. But yeah, sometimes it was necessary to go without a weapon to use the combined properties of other items to get past areas and solve puzzles and stuff, especially a combination like sprint shoes and jump feather. Like that was necessary, absolutely necessary for getting around certain places, and you just had to deal with it. Just go around the enemies if there are any on the screen. Or if you could find a safe place to pause and fight them, then you just have to switch your items around again. It was a little tough on the pacing sometimes to have to go to the menu and be switching stuff around a lot, but I don't remember there being too many places where you were having to do a lot of switches over and over and over again. So it wasn't pervasive.
Not on the overworld. This is notable, by the way, of it was the first time that Link ever got. Well, no, I was gonna say it's the first time Link could jump. Haha, the adventure of Link, he could jump. But first time you got
First
an
down, top down
actual,
Link can
like,
jump.
yes, I think it was the Roc's feather.
Yeah, Rock's Feather, something like that.
Sure, why not?
But I think Mike's right. I think they did a good job of trying to make it so that you weren't like constantly switching.
Yeah. And they were still able to put some other cool things in there, like there was a chain chomp thing that you could actually like take and walk around with. That was awesome. There was
what was
one of
his
the
name?
dungeons. I can't remember what it was called in the game. It did have a
It had
cutesy name, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly.
it had like a pet name, right? So
Yeah, someone's pet had a cutesy name. That was fun. And then one of the dungeons, I think it was the Eagle's Tower. There was this big
Bow
wrecking
Wow.
ball, basically. Bow Wow. Okay,
Bow
that's right. It
Wow.
was called Bow Wow. How could I forget that? Yeah, the Eagle's Tower, I think it was. It had this big wrecking ball, basically, that you could carry around between rooms and like leave in a room and go to another room and come back and it would still be there. Like that was pretty cool. Like n- no other part of the game had a persistent object like that. And you needed it to carry around to destroy stuff and break stuff to reshape the level so that you could advance. That was awesome.
Oh yeah, that was the
Um,
Eagles Tower or something like that.
yeah, I think that's what it was called, Eagle's Tower.
Yeah, I played the Switch remake of Link's Awakening,
Hmm.
and that stumped me completely.
It was hard. It was
Like,
hard.
I figured out that it was persistent and you could carry it around, but then it would end up
Hmm.
going down a hole, and I'd go, oh,
Yep.
and it would reset back to the top, and I never did. There was no indication I had to throw it at a pillar
Oh, okay.
that I found anyway.
Uh-huh.
Finally, someone in the chat was like, "Go pick up the stupid ball, take it to here, and throw it at that." And I was like, "What?"
Oh, there was one day when my brother was playing and he went into a room and he got too close to the edge of a pit and I think he tried to ditch the ball at the same time because he wanted to stay in that room, but the ball got like stuck in the corner right over a pit. Like it should have fallen, but it didn't. So poor Thomas, he tried to jump over and get it and dislodge it or something, but he couldn't do it. So eventually he just had to leave the dungeon. I don't remember whether he had to turn the game off and on again. He might have
Huh.
to get the ball to reset to where he could actually go pick it up again and continue.
That's awful.
Yeah. Yeah, just a one in a million little glitch.
I remember really enjoying the soundtrack for this game, especially like
Mhm.
Tall Tall Mountain.
Yeah, the soundtrack was really good. That was probably they probably put extra work into it because of the concept of like these 8 magical instruments that you had to pick up
Yes.
to wake up the windfish. And like that's not a spoiler. That's something that an NPC tells you really early in the game. That to get off the island, that's what you have to do.
Yeah. Welcome
It
to the Island of the
happens.
Windfish. You have to wake it up. Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
it happens after the events of Link to the Past. Link gets on a boat, goes off to his next adventure or whatever, and he gets caught in a storm and crashes on this island. And that's what he gets told that he has to go get the instruments, wake up the windfish, get off the island. Um, and I guess spoiler alert for a zillion-year-old game.
Mhm.
Later, later in the game, you see, well, you start to hear some evidence before then, but later in the game, you get confirmation that the island that you're on is the Windfish's dream. And if you wake it up, it'll all be over. So after that point, there are more and more instances where, like, an enemy, like a boss, makes a comment after you kill it, and you're like, should I be doing this? I don't feel comfortable with my course of action anymore.
I met a cute girl. She seems to really like me. Now, to leave, I gotta go, and she might not exist.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, Marin. Bye.
Poor Link. Link
It's
can't
cool.
get
It's
no
got all kinds of
play.
Yeah.
By the way, I feel like we should point out this came out originally in 1993. The DX version for the Game Boy Color came out in 98. I did not realize there was a 5-year gap.
I remembered it was a decent amount, but I didn't remember how long.
And then the
Makes
Switch
sense.
remake was... There we go, 2019.
Yeah, thinking about that. Okay. How old was I in 1993? Thomas must have.
Were you even
'cause
born
it
yet?
was. Yes. Based on when we played it, and I remember it was Thomas's cartridge, he must have. Yeah, it must have been the DX version that he got. Yeah, because he also. We were able to access the special color dungeon. Well, of course, I mean, that definitely means it was a DX version.
Yeah.
We were able to access the special color dungeon that has a special item you can get to either increase your damage or increase your defense. And that's pretty cool.
Nice.
And it's not that I can't remember whether it does damage or defense. It's like it does either one of those things. You got to pick. You can only pick one.
Yeah, you pick one like after you beat that dungeon, and that's what you have, right?
Yes, that's just what you have.
Yeah. So yeah, it was it was such a trip. Like they had free reign to do crazy stuff in this game that they probably shouldn't have. Like there are Goombas in this game.
Yeah, they're
there's
like
chain
Goombas
chomps.
You meant Chain Chomp.
I remember there being cameos from other video games too. I guess they're kind of playing off, oh, it was all a dream thing.
Ooh, sorry.
There's plenty of other neat little things too. There are some phone booths scattered around the world where you can, if you get stumped, sometimes you can call up the guy on the other end of the line and he'll give you a little hint as to what you're supposed to be doing or where you're supposed to be going next. You can steal from the shop.
Yes,
and you get branded as a thief permanently.
Yeah, your name changes to thief, and if you re-enter the shop, you die. Because apparently the shopkeeper is like the strongest NPC. He does a full Palpatine lightning and just, hey thief, you're dead. I feel like there was a way to get back on his good side, but I don't remember.
If there was, I didn't know it.
Yeah, no, and the thing that you would want to steal from him was the bow, right? Because the bow was so expensive.
It's crazy.
Was it the bow or some kind of shield upgrade? I want to say, but
did he also have a heart piece? I don't recall.
Oh, that feels pretty. Maybe it was enough that you were worth it, but I think most people would be like, you can't do that. And then because you have to pick up the item and take it to him, at some point somebody said, let me just walk out the door, and either Nintendo Power or somehow you found out about it and you're like, no way, and then you try and you're like, that's so cool.
Yeah, because he turns to watch you, but he doesn't turn as fast as you walk.
Right.
So you can run around his back and leave.
Yeah. And it kind of almost has that feel of like, I know everybody's tried this, that first time in Grand Theft Auto when you figure out how to get your money back from an escort, and you're like, no, and then you're like, wait, really?
I'm sorry. Did you just say get your money back from an escort?
Yes.
Aw, Brian's so cute. He's talking about killing hookers to get your money back.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Please do not injure sex workers in real life. Thank you.
No, no.
Not you, Brian. I mean, anyone listening. I mean, also you.
Yes.
But yeah, here we go. The game contains cameo appearances by Wart. Oh, I forgot Wart is in there.
That's right.
Yoshi, Kirby. There's a Kirby enemy. And Dr. Wright from SimCity, who's renamed Mr. Wright, like with a pen.
Oh. I didn't play SimCity, so I didn't know that. That's neat.
Yeah, he's the mayor in the Super Nintendo version of SimCity. Prince Richard from The Frog for Whom the Bell Tolls, which is a game that I don't think made it to the States. I think it's a Japanese game. Chain Chomps, Goombas, Piranha Plants. Yeah, okay. I think that's everything mentioned here. But yeah, they could, because it was a Game Boy game, and you know, whatever, you guys just do whatever. We're making the real games for the consoles over here. Because really, at the time, the Game Boy, while it sold, you know, a full gazillion copies, I think is the accurate number. It was never like the thing that Nintendo put any, I don't want to say any effort into, but
yeah, I mean it was taken less seriously because of the
go.
limitations. There's only so much you could do with the games, even though there were some games where they were able to do amazing things, like Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
And you know, consoles, big thing, you know, on the TV, colors, everything, just flashier and more interesting, I guess.
Yeah, I think it was later in the Game Boy's life when they realized, wow, like we're having ridiculous success with this handheld thing, which is probably why it got re-released for the Game Boy Color, the DX version.
Yeah. Yeah, at first it just wasn't clear to anybody how big and important handheld gaming would get.
Never had this for my Game Boy. Didn't want it. Did not play the Game Boy. Hated the Game Boy.
Huh.
I think we've talked about it before. I had 8 games for the Game Boy. All of them were from like the first year or 2 of its existence. I have managed to figure out what 7 of them were. I think the last one is Dr. Mario, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, in our house, the Game Boys were our consoles until we got an N64 at some point when I was in high school.
Nice.
But before that, all Game Boy.
And don't worry, listener. We're not ignoring Dirk. He typed BRB into the chat a while back. So something came up.
Yeah.
Because I almost went Dirk. Oh, wait. No, he's not back yet. So, yeah. I said I played the Switch remake, which has a very just cutesy art style. It wasn't... It wasn't perfect, though. I really hated, like, the depth of field thing. Like, or there wasn't a very shallow depth of field. Like, if Link was on the bottom of the screen, stuff and the top of the screen was sort of blurry.
Oh.
And vice versa. So it was kind of annoying.
Oh, so it was on a new graphics engine too? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, it was a whole new thing.
Okay.
It was not a remaster. It was a remake.
Okay.
Like, you didn't go from screen to screen. Like, the overworld was one thing,
okay.
which drastically changes, how some things work.
Yeah, I bet.
But it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I never got over the weird depth of field thing though. Like, that was annoying.
Yeah, I can see that. Do you remember there was like a fetch quest in this game where it was
Really long.
like
Really
yeah,
long.
it was like, all right, you have to pick up this item, and you're like, what's it for? And you're like, I don't know. But at some point, then you trade it to somebody else, and then you trade it to somebody else, and so on and so forth. And if you go the entire way, I believe the reward is the boomerang. It's like a unique item that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, and the
And I remember it
boomerang was
was
OP as hell in this game.
yeah.
It was really powerful. Is this one of the games where you could use the boomerang to grab stuff?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so.
Okay.
I feel like that's the case in most of the top down.
Could you do it in the first couple games? Grab
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
with the boomerang?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
Wonder
one
why
of
I
the
forgot
main.
that.
Yeah, the main thing, the boomerang in the first game was used to stun enemies for a second and to grab those rupees over there so you don't have to walk.
Yep.
Huh. I don't know why I forgot that.
I
And
feel
it was
like
great because it didn't pick them up and bring them to you. As soon as the boomerang touched them, it counted as you having them. So then you could just walk off screen and not have to wait for the boomerang to come back. Which in later games, when the boomerang would actually pick it up and bring it to you, annoyed me.
Okay, maybe that's why I didn't remember it the right.
I think
the
in
right
A Link
way.
to the Past, you had to wait for it to come back. But yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just funny to me because in The Legend of Zelda, the boomerang you get before you even get the bow. I think you get it off of an enemy in the first dungeon. And in Link's Awakening, you have to go through a completely optional quest to get it.
Yeah, because it did damage to enemies. It didn't just stun them. And there were some enemies, I think, that only the boomerang could kill, or at least only the boomerang could kill them easily.
Yes.
Maybe.
There
Like, I think
there were
the
none where it
Kirby
was
enemy-
required. There was none where it was required because of the fact that it was optional, but there were definitely enemies where it was a lot easier with the boomerang, yes.
Yeah. I seem to remember the Kirby enemies dropping when you hit them with the boomerang and going, "Oh my god, what?" Also, the Switch remake, because there are more buttons available to you on the Switch, you always had your sword was bound to one button. I think the dash boots might have been bound to one button.
Really?
And then you could swap the other two. I think that's right. So you could always swing your sword, and you could always, I want to say, dash.
Do you find the boots that early for that to make sense?
I mean, there's just a button there that doesn't do anything. I think it was dash.
Okay.
Because having the shield button always be available doesn't make any sense to me.
Uh-huh.
Because the shield is used to push things. Like, you don't use it. I don't think you have to push the button to use it as a shield. I think you have to push the button to push stuff with it, right?
I don't remember that right now.
Yeah, I don't either. Turns out I played that a long time ago. Okay, here we go. According to Wikipedia, Link's sword, shield, and upgrades are permanently equipped, allowing more items to be equipped to action buttons in comparison to the original game. That doesn't
That doesn't really answer the question.
that doesn't tell us anything there, Wikipedia. Thanks. Oh well. But the important thing is you've always got a sword. So that was the main like complaint I'd heard about the original game. And I'm like, oh, I don't even have to think about that. Sick.
There were definitely times where you were like, especially in the final boss, which is a bit of a gauntlet, and it keeps changing forms. It doesn't like shift back and forth, but it basically progresses through them. They require different enemies, different weapons to be destroyed. So there were definitely times where you feel like you're basically like going into the menu a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and there was the claw game.
Oh
forgot
yeah,
about-
the
I
claw
forgot
game.
about the claw game. In the
That was
Switch
cool.
remake, it has
That
like
claw.
physics. So
Oh,
it was tedious sometimes.
that sounds pretty frustrating for that game to have updated physics.
Yeah.
It had a little bit in the original, and even then it was like, sometimes.
But there was still the fetch quest. Oh, in the original game, what do you get? Like, what happens when you go visit, what's his name in his shack? The Dompe, is that his name? Because in the Switch remake, it's the build your own dungeon thing that I took a look at and was like, I'm never going to do this.
I think it might have been Dompe.
Dompe was the gravedigger in
The Gravedigger,
Ocarina
yeah.
of Time. Did they
He
reuse
is,
the
yeah.
name? Okay.
I think so.
Oh, it replaced the camera shop. He had a camera shop.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, the camera shop, that's right.
What the hell is a camera shop?
You can take photos of stuff around, and I think some of them are used for NPC fetch quests, and you can also print them out of the Game Boy printer. We didn't have that peripheral, so we never used it like that.
Well, that sounds adorable.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, you'll find random, like, I forget what they're called, chamber pieces or dungeon pieces or something. And it's for, like I said, essentially a create your own dungeon style thing. Chamber dungeons, they're called. And I screwed around with it for like 5 minutes and was like, is there any point to this? I don't think there's a point to this. And I think after I finished the game, I went back and actually like made a dungeon and ran around in it. And I was like, nope, there's no point to this. I was right. You might be able to like share them with friends or something.
Weird.
Oh, apparently the camera shop was only in the DX version. Oh.
Okay. Huh.
What?
I'm just wondering if it only had the printer-enabled feature. I thought there were some NPCs who would ask you for a picture of something, but this is a long time ago. Some of this I don't know if I'm remembering it right.
I say it was a long time ago that I played it.
But yeah, it had, getting into more general gameplay stuff, it was kind of Metroidvania-y, where there were places you just couldn't go until you found, an item. So while it was an open world, I think it was pretty linear. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's right. And I guess I just kind of assumed. I mean, the Metroidvania-ish stuff would have at least started in. I don't know. I feel like Legend of Zelda has that as part of the design. You can't get to such and such place unless you pick up the whatever in this other place.
Yeah, but when I was playing the Switch version of this one, it felt more like overt. Like, oh no, there's this hole that you can't get across. Can't go this way, and then later you find the feather. And like, oh, now I can jump across that hole. Okay. Or, there's this thing that you have to push out of the way. Oh, you got a shield. Now you can go push that out of the way. Like, all right. There was just a bunch of that everywhere.
Okay. So maybe they were just ramping it up as part of the design of the world and puzzles.
Granted, I've only played this once. But hey, the entire Let's Play series is on the YouTube channel at youtube.com/themanapool. How many Awakening? How many video? Whoa. I did a search for Awakening and it opened the edit screen for the last episode. What? Galakrond's Awakening? What? Oh no, that's Hearthstone. Hold on. Here we go. Link's Awakening was apparently 27 episodes. Good God.
Oh, wow.
But, like, some of these are pretty short. Episode 24 is 15:44. Granted, some of them are, like, up over 30 and 40 minutes. So, it's whatever it took to get through a section to have a place where I felt like breaking the video. I have an episode entitled Pinball Misery and Squid Fishing. I bet that's the Eagle Tower.
Could be, yeah.
It is. Yeah, because you had to pick up the giant pinball and walk around. Man, I hated that dungeon. Yeah, episodes 22 and 23, which are both 39 minutes and change, both say this heavily edited episode involves me running around Eagle's Tower.
Oh, man. I mean, it requires a lot of backtracking.
I mean, and even before that, I had no idea what I was doing. I just wandered through the whole thing going, I don't understand, like I said, until somebody in chat was like, do this. I went, oh, that's stupid. It's like, I hate that. Can we stop that?
I don't remember what clue or what, like, in-game clue or in-game prodding or just accident directed us towards breaking down a pillar with the ball. I just don't recall.
But either I missed it or it wasn't blatant enough for my dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
That was my main complaint with the game, was that dungeon. Like, I figured out the ice palace in like Link's Awakening. No, that was Link's in Link to the Past, which is we all know is confusing and stupid.
It is.
And I could not get this one at all. I think possibly because I was in my head. I was like, it's a Game Boy game. This can't be that complicated.
Joke's on you.
Yeah. But yeah, there's lots of NPCs everywhere to talk to. There's the dungeons. I don't remember having any problems with any of the other dungeons that, enough to make them stick out in my head. I enjoyed the bosses, I think. I don't remember getting super frustrated with any bosses.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're pretty well designed.
I really liked the face.
Oh, gosh.
Just
That
a
was hard.
face on the floor. I don't remember the final boss. You mentioned that it was kind of a gauntlet.
Yeah, it's spoiler I think it was Mike that said for a super old game. It's basically the collection of nightmares that have been holding the windfish asleep. So it's an amorphous black blob that transforms into various enemies, including both the mold worm and Ganon, which did not appear in this game. So it's questionable whether or not you're like, hey, is Ganon the final boss scale? Technically no for this game, but also kind of, because it's really the nightmare just going into Link's memory and being like, oh yeah, Pigman, I want that. So but it just shifts forms, and its final form is just this giant eye, and it has like two long arms that are made up of orbs, and at the end of those is a giant spiky ball, and it's just swinging them around. Does this sound familiar at all?
Yes.
Yes.
I never played the remake, only the original. So. And mine was the actual one on the Game Boy. No DX, no color here. I said color.
Mike.
Yeah.
And other than the fetch quest, there was also the big ass was it shells, the secret shells.
Oh, yeah, secret shells.
Which is how you powered up your sword, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I had one shell left, and my stupid indicator was going off, and I could not. Shoo! Oh my god, I could not figure out where it was. And it had something to do with Marin and singing and a walrus or something. I had to look it up. Because I'm like, it's here, and I don't know. And I had to, like, throw something somewhere. And then something would happen. I don't, like, something off the edge of the map or something. I don't remember specifics now because I hated that one shell so much.
Yeah, some of the ones where you had to do something versus just dig it up out of a hole were really hard to figure out.
Yeah, and especially because I had, like I said, the little there. I don't know if this was in the original, but there's a little shell indicator thing that tells you, hey, you're in a place where there's a shell.
Yeah, there was. Otherwise, you just never know.
Oh, okay. And it kept going off on this one area, and I'm like, and I remember when I looked it up, I found a bunch of other people going, "What the? That's so dumb." I'm like, okay, it's not just me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a fun game. The remake isn't perfect. It's got some slowdown issues in a few places, which is weird because it's on the Switch, the console it was built for. So, but it never was like so bad that it made me angry or anything. I just noticed it and was like, "Come on, Nintendo, what are we even doing here?" And the original is a classic. It was kind of a cult classic at the back in the day because nobody played it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously people played it because it's super popular, but nobody I knew played it. And if they did, we didn't talk about it. So, But at some point when Zelda, became a thing on the internet, everyone was like, "Hey, what about Link's Awakening? Is that the dumb one that didn't actually happen? You shut your face," and then fight. Ooh, also in the remake, there are like hand-drawn animation cutscenes
That's cool.
that are very nice. Like it's certain points, the point where Link and Marin, like, I think they sit on a bench or something.
Mm-hmm.
That, and there's like a moment that's a hand-drawn scene at the end, at the beginning. Opening and closing scenes are hand-drawn animation.
Yeah, cool. I don't remember if there were like some slideshow cutscenes like that in the Game Boy version.
I know at the beginning you get that iconic shot of Link like holding on to the mast with a rope wrapped around his arm or something like that. Like, that is a beautiful shot, especially when you realize it came from a Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was about it.
Yeah, I don't remember whether there were any others. Maybe another one right at the end, but I don't know.
Yeah. So there you go. Should we move on?
I think we've covered this one pretty well. Yeah.
Okay, so then so that was 93. In 98. Wow. Okay. In 98, we got the Ocarina of Time, which was the first one for the Nintendo 64, which is when everything was going 3D. Now, Mario 64 was a launch title, and it revolutionized video games. Like, it had, like, playing it now, its 3D camera control is kind of ass. But at the time, you have to realize there was nothing to compare it to. Nintendo was making all this up. And it was ridiculously good. Especially, what is with the bots all of a sudden? There we go. Sorry, I've just had to ban 2 bots in a row from the Twitch chat. But it was an amazing accomplishment. And then everyone was waiting, what are they going to do with Legend of Zelda? And when this dropped, I still think this is one of real talk, I never finished Ocarina of Time. I don't like 3D Zeldas.
Oh,
I learned.
Hey, to each their own.
Yeah,
Carrie would agree with you as someone that grew up playing 1 and 3, The Legend of Zelda and A Link to the Past, a ton, and them being like her grandmother's favorite games. Which, hey, shout out to that generation. She doesn't like the camera in Ocarina of Time, and I know people complain about it, but she really it takes away from the game for her. So
I enjoy the jump to 3D for platformers like Mario. Mm-hmm. I love 3D Mario games, but 3D Zelda games, there's only been one after Ocarina of Time that I played and liked.
Huh.
And it was Wind Waker, which we'll get to, eventually.
Next year. Yeah.
But
now you say you like the jump to 3D for platformers. Did you ever play Castlevania 64?
Not until a few years ago when I played. I did a taste test of every Castlevania game I could get my hand on, but that was bad 3D.
It was objectively bad. Yeah.
Like Ocarina of Time. So I set up that I don't especially. I'm one of the bad ones. I don't especially like Ocarina of Time. I mean, it's
unpopular
fine.
Opinion, but valid.
But it is one of the most influential games ever that we are still beholden to in these days because of one very simple thing that I think Ocarina of Time invented.
Are you talking about
listen.
Z targeting?
Z targeting.
Which, yeah.
Like Mario, if you get the camera in a good position or behind him or whatever, like you can handle jumps and jumping on things. But when you need to have a sword fight with somebody, how do you do that in 3D without just walking off and swinging at nothing? Well, you lock on.
Mm-hmm.
That's still a thing. Like the Dark Souls games have lock on. The Elden Ring has a lock on. You know where it got it from? Ocarina of Time. As far as I know. Now, it could be that some other game before it did a lock-on thing in 3D space, but if it did, I don't know. Like Zelda is the first big game that did it.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be that, you know, some obscure other game that no one remembers did it originally and Nintendo was like, hey, it's a good idea. But whatever, it came from Ocarina of Time. So yeah, I got to the point where you had to go get Epona. And I could not win the race to get Epona.
That's frustrating.
And I went, I hate this game. I'll come back to this later, and just never picked it up again, ever. Mm-hmm. So I think I got through like maybe halfway. Something like that.
Yeah. There's so many moments where it's like, oh my God, why didn't you jump? I pressed the button.
But yeah, that was me. I'm one of the ones. When everyone starts gushing about how great Ocarina of Time is, I sort of roll my eyes and look away and dissociate for a while.
Well, Dirk, I was talking about during a race when you got to jump over the hurdles.
Oh, okay. Yeah, with Epona. Yep.
I thought the race was just around the barn or the farm.
There were hurdles, though, right?
Were there?
Yeah, there were hurdles.
I want to say, yeah.
It's been a long time. I don't know.
And then you also had to use the reins to make Epona dash and everything too.
Yeah, you had to manage the carrots, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, I would also like to point out when this came out. What year did I say?
1998.
Ocarina of Time was 1998. Yeah.
98. Yeah. So yeah, I was already like not a kid anymore. Holy crap! It came out on my birthday in '98.
Oh,
happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you in Japan.
Later in North America. Whoa, really? Wow. Sorry.
What'd you say? 2 years?
No, 2 days.
2
Japan
days.
release was November 21st, 98. North America release was November 23rd, 98. What? That's crazy. They did that on purpose because back then, the Japanese, the window was, the difference between the two was narrowing, but it hadn't narrowed that much yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Anyway, I'll let you guys that care about Ocarina of Time talk about it. I'm going to have a nap.
Oh. I mean, I was excited for previous Zeldas, but this was one of the first ones that I felt like the hype was really there, you know? Chewie mentioned like Zelda, not Zelda, but like Mario being new to 3D and all that sort of stuff. But I remember getting in Nintendo Power that had an early look at Zelda, and all it was like a couple screenshots because it was still very much in development of Link cresting a sand dune, and you could see the sun going down, and I'm like, ever since I was a kid, the whole like games can have day-night cycles blew my mind a little bit. And so Zelda, check. Day-night cycle, 3D, holding the big this was a picture of adult Link holding a Master Sword, and the graphics for what they were at the time looked amazing. And we knew nothing about the story, but just for these couple images, my mind was like constructing a frame. That's when you know you're really getting into it. And so the game did come out, and my mom brought me to the store where it was releasing, we were there like at least a half an hour ahead of time before they opened. Which, if you know my mom, she was supportive, but video games are silly and all that sort of stuff. I definitely had to save up for this game for weeks to get it on launch day, and getting that sweet golden cartridge. And I was like, I remember. I can't remember if wait, what day did you say? Well, what day did it come out in North America?
November 23rd.
Okay, so I was still definitely very much in school. I was in high school, I believe, going to classes and whatnot. And so, pretty much anytime I was not in class or doing homework, and maybe sometime that I should have been doing homework, don't tell mom and dad 30 years later, definitely playing this game. So, a couple things about it. The I One of the things I always thought was interesting was that in earlier Zeldas, Link's age isn't really clear. You look at some of the art, especially in the manual for the first game, which we covered on the previous episode, he looks short, but it's almost more like a chibi-fied figure, where is this character, you know, like a teen or younger, or is this just how everybody looks here? And then the art style becomes more defined in later games, just again between the source material and the supplemental like manuals that we talked about, the player's guide to A Link to the Past before. And okay, it looks like Link is actually like at least like late teen sort of build to him. But you pick up this game and you don't start as adult Link. You start as child Link, which is not something I think we see again as far as the transition from child to adult. There are games where Link starts as a child and stays a child. There's definitely games where he starts as an adult, but this is the only one that I'm familiar with where you actually see the transition, and a lot of that has to do with the central theme of time, which is right there in the title. So you start out as young Link and you receive a prophecy, and you start. The game does kind of hold your hand for a little bit with the opening village, as it's like Navi is like, "Hey, we want to go talk to that guy on that roof. Use Z targeting. You should go find the sword somewhere. You should also buy the shield, which forces you to like look all around the little town for rupees. That was a bit frustrating because that was very luck based. Like you just got the sword and started trying to cut down as much grass as you could, because there
Mhm.
wasn't a set. I think there were some stumps that if you jumped on them in sequence, you would get some, but you had to really kind of scrounge
Yeah,
around. It,
jumping across the pond. There was some tall
yep,
grass. There was some non-cuttable tall grass you could run around, and there were rupees hidden there.
yeah, but it was random. So I do feel like it didn't get off to a bad start, but it got off to a slow start. Would you kind of agree?
Yeah, the tutorial area is kind of slow in Kokiri Village.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
But then you go find the Deku tree, and Deku tree is like, "All right, I need you to get all up in me." And Link is like, "Sure." And you go inside, and this stage is interesting because it's the vertical, like up and down, and you're having to burn through spider webs. You're having to already figure out, okay, this game is a little different because I'm getting these different types of items. I don't have the boomerang yet, but I
But you
pick
got a
up.
stick.
You got sticks, and you know what you can do with sticks? You can light
Catch them
them
on
on
fire.
fire. Fire, yeah, fire. So yeah, uh huh.
Oh my god.
So yeah, and I'm not going to run through before Chewie says it. I'm not running through every stage, but again, this is learning the game and learning how this is similar to Zelda's you played before in that the central theme is exploration, but there's so much more freedom of like these are things you can pick up, these are things you can do with them, stuff like that. So it was a good beginning to it. Then eventually you find your way out. You go to the castle. You have to engage in a somewhat frustrating but not terrible avoid the guards so you can meet Princess Zelda sort of stage. Remember that? Where you're sneaking around the
Hmm.
garden. It's not horrible, but it's not great. Again, the game is kind of getting going a bit slowly. It's drip feeding this stuff to you. And then you get to explore. And there's an order that you have to go to these places in to get the materials you need. What were they? The emblems or something to unlock the Temple of Time,
Yeah.
the gems. There is an order to it, largely because of the equipment that you get from the dungeons. But for the most part, you can explore. You have great freedom of movement, and I really liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you finally get to the Temple of Time and you open up, the future, it's kind of like I remember watching Chewie play through the Messenger. When it happens in the Messenger, it's like it was that same feeling, like feeling that again. Um, where it's like, oh, wow, there's this whole other different world to explore and even go back and forth between. Um, and then is that better, Chewie?
Yeah.
Okay, my microphone got knocked out of place. It wasn't actually pointing at my face anymore. I didn't notice. Yeah, when you get to the Temple of Time and go into the future, like I said, it was like when watching Chewie play the Messenger when a similar thing happens there. And is that feeling? It's like, oh wow, and
It it
you have
to
this
me it was
whole other world open up with all
yeah.
new dungeons and stuff you do there gives you opportunities to go back in time and do more different stuff in the past.
Yeah. I wanted to say that to me it was more of a direct parallel to Link to the Past when you unlock the Dark World and you're like, oh, I'm halfway through this
Oh,
game or
uh-huh.
less. But I agree with you. I agree with you. And then the second thing is, you you find yourself as an adult Link. You start running around. You find, oh wow, the kingdom has really gone to hell. Stupid Ganondorf, everybody voted for him, and then he did exactly what he said he would do. He would burn down the kingdom. How could we do that to ourselves? Anyway, certainly no parallels to real world there. But um, initially, you can't go back in time. If you
Oh
try
yeah,
to put
that's
the
right.
sword back in, you can't. It's only after you go to the Lost Woods and you complete the first new dungeon that it's like, oh, by the way, you might have missed some stuff as a kid. I thought on my first playthrough, no guide, nothing, that I was like, oh shoot, do I need to like restart the game
What
because
have I done?
Oh
I
no.
haven't done all of the things. So, and then it was like there was a little like, okay, you can go back, and then later in the game it's like, no, you have to go back. There's a temple, the spirit temple in the desert
Yeah,
that you must go to as an adult, then as a kid, and then
yeah.
as an adult once again. So, yeah.
That would yeah, that last one, that last dungeon was a really good way to pull it all together. I enjoyed that one a lot.
It's interesting you say last because I've seen conflicting opinions on whether the Spirit Temple is last or the Shadow Temple. And I think technically you can go in either order.
I thought you got to do the Shadow Temple before.
No, the Shadow Temple gets you need the Lens of Truth to get in there.
Yeah.
This temple gets you the Mirror Shield. Technically they can be done in either order.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm,
Jeez,
And
Mike.
we taught Mike something new today.
I've never even played this game, and I knew that. That's a lie. I have played this game, and I didn't know that. I lied twice in that one sentence.
Chewie's a liar, but what else is new?
Man, make me president. Um, what?
What do we think about the items and the use of items in Ocarina of Time compared to other Zelda games?
Uh, this is another one. I mean, it's kind of like the Link's Awakening, where you can have multiple items equipped at a time, but it's also like, what Chewie said they did with the remake of Link's Awakening, where you always have your sword and shield, and then you just use some of the extra buttons to map the extra items to. There aren't many like neato item combinations in this one, but that's because, I mean, each item does its own useful, unique thing too. I mean, hookshot, everyone remembers the hookshot. Hookshot is a major game changer.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the boomerang was not as useful in this game, but part of that is the limitation. You can't
Yeah,
just have it fly all the way across the screen anymore. This is what a lot of these
that
items
boomerang was more
operate.
like specifically for grabbing stuff, like
Yeah,
grabbing a Skulltula token or whatever.
yeah. Skulltula. I've heard it both ways.
It was someone I knew who said Skactacula, and I'm like, what? How did you even get
Skak,
that? Skactacula, yeah.
Skactacula.
But it stayed with me forever, and so there must be something to it.
That is a very specific genre of musical vampire.
Yes.
I will say, and I think it was fascinating that they gave you stuff like sticks, like nuts, especially as a kid, and the fact that you couldn't use some of the same items. As an adult, it
Uh-huh.
bothered me that you couldn't use the boomerang. I get not throwing nuts or using the slingshot or whatever, but not being able to use the boomerang, I mean, come on. But I did enjoy the variety of items. And again, the way that you could use them in unconventional ways. Remember,
Yeah, and there were
remember,
some that I never, the spells, like the three goddess spells,
mhm,
I didn't use those except for a couple places where one of them was mandatory.
really.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
I would put it on, like, in general, the tools was very reminiscent of Link to the Past kind of stuff, where you would use this under these conditions, under
Hmm.
these, like the shield, like the mirror shield. You only needed to use it for the one temple.
yeah, a lot of it was more situational. There was
Yeah.
not a there that and that was probably this is skipping ahead a little bit, but there is a later game on this list that we're not going to get to this time that um did that but even worse. Was very much a, oh, here's this item for this dungeon and you'll never need it again.
Hmm.
I mean, that
It's
became a
called,
obnoxious thing about Zelda there for a little while.
yeah. I'm thinking of Twilight Princess, but um yeah. But I especially liked the items like you said where um they had broad applicability on in both that dungeon as well as like the field going forward.
Yeah.
And if you could manage to get Epona on your side, I mean, come on. You got a horse, you guys.
I know.
Horse.
That was great for fast traveling across the plains. What was it called?
Hyrule Field.
Hyrule Field. That's right.
Yeah. You remember how insane that was the first time you saw it?
Yes.
You're like, wow, look, I can see all the way over there, and then I can go there. And when you go back nowadays, it's like a 10-second walk. I'm like, huh?
But at
Hmm.
the time it felt huge.
Immense. Yeah.
Well, because it was like it didn't just feel huge; it was the biggest thing we'd ever seen.
Hmm.
At that point, yeah.
It was.
My One of my favorite ones was in the Kakriko village. wasn't it the guy who had the windmill that somehow you learned the Song of the Storms, and then you would go to him and play the Song of the Storms, like his future self taught you it, or something of the sort, and then you would go back in time and play it, and it caused his windmill to be devastated, like it was in the future.
Something like that, yeah.
Start moving really fast. Yeah, that wasn't Kakariko Village. It was one of the human towns. But yeah.
Yeah. I just remember one part. I mean, like, that is very circular thinking. You know,
It
this is
was in
destroyed
fact a
because you did
circle.
this, but you learned about it in the future, went back in the past, and used the thing you learned from the future to set the future.
Oh, I've gone cross-eyed. I also remember when you go into the future, and was it the castle is suddenly a horror game?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, instead of there being people and whatnot, there's these horrifying screaming things called redeads.
Ah,
Yep.
And every time one sees you and screams, you freeze in place. And I was like,
yes. They are outside of Castletown as soon as you leave the Temple of Time, and it's your first indication of, oh shoot, the world done gone bad now, yo.
Yep.
Yeah. Things have gone horribly awry because is that a herd of zombies? What in the Walking
Oh.
Dead?
What a terrible millennium to have a curse.
Like that, I
Yeah.
remember being like, "Why can't I move?" Ah!
Yeah, pretty much.
I remember, like I said, when I played this, I was 18.
Yeah.
So, So let's see, what else is there? There's the big scary naked fairy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I've seen people. I've already seen people making jokes about what she's going to look like in the upcoming remake.
In the remake, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
for
can-
anyone
I-
listening to this in the future, it is August 13th. So the remake, we don't even have a date for the remake yet other than 2026. So it's supposedly coming out sometime this year. All
And
we've seen
apparently
is
it's
that one little cinematic short, and that's it.
and apparently it's a from the ground up remake. Like,
yeah,
it's not a remaster, it's a remake.
Yeah, this is like Link's Awakening. So that's cool, I guess. We'll see. It's either going to be amazing or it's going to be crap. There's not going to be it's all right.
No, there's no. They're either going to do it right or not. I mean, the only other alternative to doing it right is just not, and it's going to be screwed up.
But given Nintendo and their treatment of Zelda, for the most part, I'll say it's probably going to be good.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I think high likelihood of it.
Yeah. But let's see what else. There's we don't have Ganon. We have pre-pig Ganon, so it's just Ganondorf. He's just a dude.
This is so it's fascinating that you start with The Legend of Zelda and The Adventure of Link, which is the direct sequel, and then A Link to the Past is like, haha. But here's the story from before that, and then Ocarina of Time is like, hold my DeLorean. We're going further back. He's not even a pig yet. And I feel like they do that a couple times. And part of that is, I think in the 90s, early 2000s, maybe even now, there's this kind of fixation with prequels of like, you know the story,
Hmm.
but did you know how these people got to be here? I mean, Sam's excited. She's read the Hunger Games books, and they're coming out with the Sunrise on the Something, which is a story from like one of the previous people's their turn to be in the murder game. So it's it's something it's not new, but it's something that we've explored a lot in media, including video games. So yeah, the story wise, you've got Ganondorf, and these roles are fleshed out a little more. Whereas previously he was just the king of the thieves, right? And he broke in to the Golden Land and stole the Triforce. Here, he's a male Gerudo. I think this is also the first one that introduced like the Gorons. And whereas Zoras had been enemies before, and the king of the
Yes.
Zoras would give you the flippers, the distinct races, you know what I mean? Other than just
Hmm.
Hylians.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait.
So,
Wait. Were there Gorons in this game?
Yeah,
yep.
there were Gorons in
Yeah.
this game.
Oh, okay. Well, oh,
I
yeah, that makes
remember
sense
go
because there's
I,
more in Majora's Mask. Yeah.
Hmm.
I remember going to Death Mountain early in this game and being like, this was the end of the first one, and then it's populated by all these friendly rock guys, and I'm like, what's going on? I thought this was like an insane dungeon. So, but again, this is in the timeline. This is like pre pre the hero falling and like everything going to complete crap, which you see hints of that with Adult Link. But
Yeah.
you have Ganondorf is the leader of the Gerudos, and he's all like, "Hey, let me go see the king," and broker a treaty and whatnot, and then he tricks you into doing his dirty work and unlocking the Triforce, and he's like, yoink. And this is also the first one to kind of delve a little deeper into, okay, the Triforce, we have the Triforce of Power, the Triforce of Wisdom, and the Triforce of Courage. Now we're going to explore those concepts a little more in that we know that when you touch it, you get a wish. But Ganondorf, because he didn't have a very balanced mind, he was completely focused on power. It resulted in them being split. And there were images of from players' guides of Link having that insignia of the Triforce on his hand. This was the first game to really be like, oh, he's actually carrying a shard of it around in with him. And from here on out, those three characters stand as each as representative of that Triforce. Ganon for power,
Hmm.
Zelda for wisdom, and Link for courage. And you might go like, wow, Ganon's makes him functionally immortal and gives him sorts of crazy magic powers. He can turn into a giant pig or throw a castle down or whatever. And Zelda can shoot like arrows of light, and Link,
He's got a thwart.
he goes, ha! I'm sure I have not, while I
Or
enjoyed the games,
depending on which battle and everything, a fishing pole.
that's, or a bug net to like blast evil energy back.
Was it the bug net that did it?
It was
In
a
Link to
bug
the
net that you
Past,
could,
yeah, it was the bug net.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was the fishing pole that did it.
I'm sure. I think you only ever unlock the fishing pool at specific spots, but I'm sure that the fandom has delved into this, and I'm sure there are some things that it grants Link, and there's a reason why only he can delve into the dungeons and whatnot. But still, on paper, I think I'd rather have power, please. So I would not be balanced enough. I'd be like, "Ah, I'll take that one, and then I'll hunt down the other two over the entire rest of my life, which is forever. Don't, by the way, give me the Triforce of Power. Don't. Anyway, so it's a good game. It
Yes.
really shaped a lot of Zelda kind of going forward, for better or for worse. Although, again, we've seen more of a like return to pixel stuff lately. So, um, but it really was defining. Chewy mentioned the Z targeting. I combined those words, and which impacted so many other games outside of Zelda. I don't know. The story was good. The music was good, although I don't know that I loved it as much as some of the earlier entries. The final battle was cinematic as all get out. And it wasn't particularly difficult, but it felt
No.
epic.
Yeah. I mean, you had to be paying attention. You couldn't just press button to win. You actually had to think about it.
Yes.
Well, that lets me out then. Hmm.
It was
See?
a very good, solid game to me, and I think for the longest time it had the highest game score, like overall game score.
I'm sure it did. Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. Like it's always in at the top of tier lists. Probably led by the fact that most of the people making these tier lists, this was their first Zelda game. And it's
Probably.
really good, but a lot of people when they make like the tier lists are pushed hard by nostalgia, myself included.
Yeah.
Oh
Sure.
yeah. That's a common thing.
But like
But I
I
think
said, the 3D once Zelda jumped to 3D, I just did not care anymore. And it makes me sad because I never had any of the handhelds after that, so I didn't play any of the 2D Zeldas.
did you not play um was it A Link Between Worlds?
Nope, that was a DS game.
Okay.
I never
It
had a
is.
DS.
And it yeah. It takes place in the world of Link's A Link to
Link
the
to the
Past.
Past, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
Eventually. Do we have anything more to say about Ocarina of Time? I want to take our time with it because it is so influential, but I feel like I've said what I was going to say about it.
Yeah. Did any of us play the Master Quest? I didn't.
The
I've
Master
got
Quest.
the GameCube disc that's got it on it.
What is the Master Quest?
Yeah, Mike, what
I
is
don't
the
have
Master
that on my
Quest?
list.
Was that that may
More difficult
good.
dungeons. Yeah, it has. Did I fall off the call? It has
You
reworked
did.
and more difficult dungeons. It's basically a second quest for Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
I don't think I was aware of it.
So the Wind Waker came with it and had the disc on, had that Master Quest version. So if you didn't play Wind Waker and have that disc, then you wouldn't have known it was there.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, wait, I
By
have Wind Waker and I didn't know about that. Maybe I missed it.
No,
By
it
the
wasn't.
Because
It
it's
wasn't
from the
on the disc
GameCube.
with the Wind Waker. It came with a bonus disc for from pre-orders of the Wind Waker.
ah,
And then
Okay.
By the
there's
time-
the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition, which has the two NES games and the two 64 games on it. I'm pretty sure. Because I remember being
But
really
okay, I
pissed
think I
that it didn't have Link to the Past.
are you saying that disc has the Master Quest on it?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, because I have that.
Yeah.
Gosh, maybe I missed it. I don't know. I need to go back and check it out. I have to hook up my GameCube again.
Okay, here we
see,
go.
I
what is
never had a
this?
GameCube. My parents got it after I went to college, and Jimmy, who I can talk to, um, this weekend, like in person, uh, played Wind Waker, and I think one summer when came home, I was playing it and I beat it. But he played it a lot more than I did.
Okay, here we go. Master Quest Bonus disc that also contained the original Ocarina of Time, given out in limited quantities with pre-orders of The Wind Waker. Additionally, it was packaged with The Wind Waker in some regions. Yeah, thanks. Because of this, like Collector's Edition. What do you mean, like Collector's Edition? Existing copies of this game are rare and expensive.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, well, here's
I
Collector's
don't know
Edition.
if Collector's Edition has
It
it.
feels like a grammatical error.
Maybe it doesn't have the Master Quest on it. Yeah, it's got the two NES games, the two 64 games. But yeah, apparently not. Wow, that's crazy. I could have sworn I had the Master Quest. Apparently, it is a super limited thing. I thought it had been remade or redone at some point.
Wow. Okay, I knew it was rare. I didn't know it was that rare, as you just explained.
Yeah, I could have sworn it got re-released with something.
Well, I know it got re-released on the GameCube because I have that.
The Master Quest?
The Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on the GameCube.
Well, yeah, but we're talking about the Master Quest specifically. It doesn't look like it was ever released again.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Did not know that. Maybe I've just got the ROM and so it's in my my Launchbox library. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I don't even know if I've got it there, to be honest. Anyway.
Well, the only other thing to add that I can think of is this is the game that started the whole timeline. Like when they talk about the Zelda timeline, this is the game where all the weird timelines happen.
Yeah, this is the branching point. Because you've got one for Link going forward in time, and time continues on from there. You've got one where he's in the child timeline, and it goes on from there, because just because you change the future over there has nothing to do with the past here in this type of time travel. And then there's the one where he went forward but didn't win, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The hero is defeated.
Yeah, so there's the child timeline goes off to the left. I'm pointing right. I don't know why I said left. And then there's two for the future, one where he wins and one where he loses. Yeah. I still hate that they made an official timeline. It's all right. Majora's Mask.
Yes.
This one I've never played at all, and that actually annoys me now that I'm older. So it came out in 2000 in April of 2000 in Japan and October of 2000 in North America. See, that's what I'm talking about. There's the difference between the Japanese release and the American release.
Yeah.
That's 6 months. The 2 days thing completely threw me. Like I said, they had to have done that on purpose. Oh, Scuzzo's in the chat. I still have my Master Quest disc for GameCube. It's in a generic black plastic case, but I have it.
Nice.
Yeah, that. If you're ever hurting for money, that's a thing, I guess. Curious how much that's worth now.
Yeah, I think 2000. I think we might have gotten it for Christmas that year.
That makes sense.
So we played a lot of it, and Majora's Mask is hard. Like, it is difficult.
It is extremely difficult, and I've tried it a couple times. I have it for the 3DS, and at some point I'll probably pick it up again. That's the furthest I've ever gotten to it. But I don't love the general conceit of the game.
Hmm.
Give me a Final Fantasy or a Zelda or something where I can explore and take my time. You know the easiest way to
Oh,
tell me that I'm gonna not love it? Put a
Times.
timer on it.
Timer on it, yeah.
yeah. The ever-present time limit um, makes a real difference with how
Yeah.
you're exploring. You do, at a certain point, not too far into the game, get the ability to slow down the progression of time to half speed, but sometimes you're still running up against the clock. I remember there was one point very late in the game where I was in one of the last few dungeons and moving around and I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, I can't do it. I've run out of time. I have to go
Hmm.
back to the first day and try again. And that just happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Um,
So for
this one's really
anyone
interesting.
that isn't aware, it's the first that I'm aware of time loop game. It
Yeah.
might not
Yeah.
be the first, but like I said, it's the first one I ever heard of.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
meaning you've got 3 days, and days are how long is a day? A couple hours, maybe.
A
Something like that.
couple hours of real time. Yeah. And it depends on whether you're running at normal speed or double speed or half speed.
Well, yeah, obviously
Yeah.
that is because that's what those mean. Uh,
Mhm.
but you've got 3 days to
Jeez.
stop the moon from crashing into the planet and
Terminate.
destroying everything.
Mhm.
And when you die, at the end of that, you get sent back to the first day. And some things that you've done don't
Yeah.
reset, or items you found
Well,
don't
I mean,
reset, or something.
if you die because the moon crashes into the planet, you just die. What you
Oh,
need to do is send. Yeah, you just die. It's not something where you reset after you die. It's something that if you don't send yourself back in time before the moon crashes, that's it.
Yeah.
oh,
You
actual game over.
Yeah,
But then you
actual
just
game over.
reload your
yeah.
last save. So, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, before time runs out, you have to send yourself back in time to restart and try again.
Which you're gonna do.
You have to
Like,
do to make it work,
yeah.
and it's not a
Yeah.
true restart. Like Chewy said, there are some things that matter that make that you can change permanently, that will carry over. But there are other things where once you do something and go back, it just makes it easier to go ahead. Okay, change that real quick. All right, now get on with the rest of my quest here.
Yeah. A bit of a checkpoint, so to speak.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's a completely different animal from every other Zelda game.
Yes.
Completely. And you either love it
Hmm.
or you despise it. There's
Yeah.
no middle ground with Majora's Mask.
Hmm.
Like I
There
said,
are
I've
certain
tried it.
yeah, there are certain events and certain interactions that only take place at certain times on certain days. You get an item called the Bomber's Notebook that helps you keep track of that. But in the original version of the game, and I heard they updated this in later releases of it, like on the like on
3DS.
the 3DS and Wii or whatever, the Bomber's Notebook, the details in the notebook are pretty sparse in the original game. Or they added some extra stuff to it later to make it easier to know, what you're looking at without already knowing what you're looking at. Because it just shows you for a certain character, oh, something with them happens during this time frame, with like no details about
What
where
that thing is.
like
Yeah.
where it happens or whether there's some prerequisite to make the thing happen or what, so that you just have to figure out. This is one where my brother and I had a guide that we would go back to look for missing stuff in an area we just completed, or for a case where we were just plain old stumped. Thankfully, we didn't have to do it too much for just being stumped, but we did have to do it a couple times. This game's interesting because it uses, except for a few new things, it uses the same, not really sprites, but model set from Ocarina of Time for tons of NPCs,
Yeah.
lots of enemies, environmental set pieces. Not everything. It's not just a complete rehash. There's tons of new assets and stuff, but there's also a bunch of reused stuff that some of it gives it. If you had just recently finished playing Ocarina of Time, there's an interesting this because you think of these NPCs as certain people already, and then you see them in a
Yeah.
totally different setting because they're a completely different character. And for some of them, it's like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. That was part of what threw me off is like, okay, this is Marin, and where's Epona? Oh, you don't have Epona here. Also, your relationships with everybody reset because they don't know you. So
Yeah. Yeah, when you
which
reset
to
the
me
clock
started to
and meet
feel
them again.
tedious. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, there's the playing around with the flow of time and events and stuff. But it's called Majora's Mask, and the major mechanic running throughout the whole game are masks that you can put on to give you special abilities. Some of them even transform you completely. The first one you're kind of forced into and have to figure your way out of it, being turned into a Deku scrub.
Yeah.
And you also
Scrub.
yeah. You also get the opportunity to transform yourself into a Zora and a Goron, and each of them have their own special abilities and also kind of like their own fast travel options. Like the Deku Scrub can hop a short distance across water, which is convenient for covering distances, but he can't swim, so you got to be careful. The Zora, Zora Link is so fun to swim around underwater with. It's just awesome when you're in the Great Bay and just going around, and it's really fun. And then the Goron can turn into a ball and roll around the place at high speeds. That's awesome too for fast traveling across the map. Yeah, the transformation opens up a ton of interesting and fun gameplay while you're going around.
Yes.
But yeah. And the moon is just its own great character. Because, in the
It looks so happy.
yeah, in the first day you see it like way over there, like off in the sky, and there's a spot where you can look at it through a telescope and get a closer look at its big scary angry face. And yeah, in your very first playthrough, when you're getting closer to the end of the third day and it's taking up like almost the entire sky with its big angry face, that's that makes a strong impression on you the first time.
It does. You're like, okay, giant pig man, sure. Zora's, all right, I get it. The actual moon. I'm going to swing my sword at it.
I cast magic missile.
I'm attacking the darkness.
Yes.
It's true. Like you do.
But yeah, the point of this time loop ultimately is to summon up the what are they called? Ancients?
Ancients, giants, something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. That will stop the moon from killing everything and everybody. Also, you're not in Hyrule. We should point that out. You're in a place called
Termina.
Termina.
Yes, I thought we'd said that already.
We might
Maybe.
have, but it's a separate. It might be a separate world because Link falls in a hole.
It is, yeah.
In the opening, and then now you're in Termina, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. I remember seeing
There was
speculation that it might be another Link's Awakening thing and be some sort of dream or something.
Could be.
There was a game theory video, like you
Oh,
remember
Jesus.
game theory, that it actually was like the underworld. Like Link dies at the beginning, and everything else is him going through purgatory and like accepting, like he sees the people that he knew in life, hence the reused assets, and he overcomes each of the stages is associated with one of the stages of moving on, like grief and anger and that sort of stuff. And
Yeah,
the
there's
final one
one
is
town where
acceptance.
everyone is in denial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it may be reading a lot into it. I mean, that was something that
It is.
the podcast did, but there was some meat to it at the same time, which makes you go, did the game producers just kind of make a fun game with an extra thought toward here's some extra meaning behind this?
Mm-hmm.
And there's also in the next game, which we're not going to get to tonight, but there's
Not with that attitude.
there's a skeleton that teaches you sword techniques, and the skeleton is left-handed. And Link has always been shown as being left-handed. So
That's
the
not
thought
the
is
next
this
thing.
is the Link that died.
He just he
That's cool.
died with he died, and his restless spirit was never able to completely pass on. So in Twilight Princess, he is teaching his successor these sword techniques. Yeah, there's
Bruh,
I
that
mean,
is 7 games from now. What you talking about? No, really, that's 7 games. We got the 2 Oracles games, 4 Swords, Wind Waker, 4 Swords Adventures, Minish Cap, and then Twilight Princess.
Yeah, there were a lot of handheld games in between, weren't there?
there were.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 of those will only take a minute. No one cares about 4 Swords and 4 Swords Adventures. But anyway,
Somebody does, but not us.
But yeah,
also,
like
that's not Kid Link dying at the beginning. That's Adult Link failing. That is supposedly the guy who teaches you stuff.
Okay.
He is kind of a big guy to be a kid.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But anyway, that's timeline crap that no one else cares about, and I don't care if you care about it. So the thing that always scared me about this game, other than it's a 3D Zelda, which means I don't want to play it, or back then, was the time loop aspect of it, and the fact that there's a timer, and you have to like keep playing over and over and over.
yeah, it makes it intense because you can't just be wandering around the whole time. You got to be pushing towards the next goal and the next milestone. Otherwise, you'll run out of time.
Because if you miss a time when you need to be somewhere, well, sucks to be you. You better go back to the first day. Oh, son of a...
Yeah, or if you just run out of time getting to the next area and getting through the next dungeon, sorry. Try again.
Yeah.
Does time not stop in dungeons in this game?
No, it keeps running.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's always running in the background. You don't get a break.
Oh. That's terrible.
I like the game, despite the fact that I've tried it and have yet to succeed. I like it. It's just, it's a lot.
What was that, Mike? Did we lose Mike again?
I think we did.
Nope, he's
I
back.
think I fell
Mike?
off the call. Yeah, I think I fell off the call again.
All right.
Yeah.
So what was
What
that,
were
Mike?
you saying?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you all for a second. I was saying that that pressure makes it more hardcore. It gives the whole game like a get good character, because you have to be good to get through things in a decent amount of time and be able to if you have to do something a second time, you have to be able to do it better the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, as the case may be, for things that you have to do way more often.
Yeah, as they say now, this game is very sweaty. Because you don't, like he said earlier, you can't just, wander around, or else you're going to have to start over.
Yeah, I mean, you can. You can go in as like, okay, I'm just gonna go around this area and try to figure it out, and then when I think I have a handle on it, I'll go back to the beginning of the first day and then come back and do what I need to do. Yeah, you can if you go ahead and plan on that, because there's no limit to how many times you can reset. The only penalty for resetting is that you lose some of your collected items. There's a way around that. You can save rupees in a bank, and the reason that you get to keep your deposit is, like, it's kind of implied that the banker like writes something on your hand or on your arm or something to indicate your current deposit or something like that. So since that's always with you, then you can go to the bank and say, "Oh yeah, I have 500 rupees deposited here." It's like, "Oh yeah, cool, okay." But
That's pretty funny.
but yes, the penalty for resetting is minimal, and there's no limit to how many times you can do it. So it's no big deal to say, "Okay, I'm gonna burn this cycle just going and looking around this area because there's something hidden or a secret that I want to find, or there's something I just need to figure out before I attack the next stage of the game."
So I don't know any of the, like, I know the broad strokes, but I don't know any of the, like, specifics. Like, what even are the dungeons in this game?
Um, there's 4 main areas, representing the 4 giants, with different things to do. Each one of them has a main dungeon and several side 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 areas to do stuff in. Some of those side areas are like mini dungeons. I can't rattle them off the top of my head anymore. But of course, there's a forest area, there's a mountainous fire area, there's a water area, and then there's a like spirit zombie whatever area around the main Termina field that you go through and use your items and mask powers and everything to solve the puzzles and this, that, and the other thing. And the reward for collecting all of the possible masks in the game, which isn't required to get to the end, but the reward for it is that you get no almost as good is another mask that turns you into this amazing super powered it's called the Fierce Deity mask, that makes you awesome during the final fight with the last boss.
It's one of those items, and I have never finished the game, but this was spoiled for me a long time ago thanks to YouTube, that you can only use during the final battle, correct? And
I think you can use it on other bosses if you finish the game and then reload your save.
okay.
I don't, but yeah, otherwise, on your first run through, you don't have it. It's not possible to have it until the final boss. So yes, it's only usable there.
From what I've seen of the videos, I always thought it was interesting that the Fierce Deity mask looks like Adult Link, which I thought was kind of a cute nod to, oh, in Child Link in this game, his power kind of goes through the roof when you think about all the stuff he's doing, but this is a nod toward how strong he gets later in life. Because doesn't it have like the hairstyle of Adult Link? And he's got like markings on the face, but otherwise it appears to be Hylian. And he just has a really big sword, so I've always thought that was intentional.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
So yeah, we should point out the big bad in this is not Ganon or Ganondorf. It's other than the moon, obviously. It's Skull Kid.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Skull Kid.
Because Skull Kid is the one that kind of like is bringing the moon down.
Mm-hmm. He gets Majora's Mask and kind of becomes possessed by it and makes some big mischief.
That's one way to put it. So I've been checking out the Wikipedia page here. It says that they wanted to design a repeatable cops and robbers style game that would allow players to have a different experience each time they played it.
Okay.
And they ended up with this 3-day system to make the game data more compact while still providing deep gameplay. It was originally going to be a week, but they figured out that 7 days was way too much to keep track of, and also too hard to make that game in the limited time they had.
Could you imagine if you missed an event on day 4 or day 5 and you're like, I have to go back to the beginning?
Exactly.
Yeah, they would have to. They'd have to give you a mechanic, maybe not in the beginning, but at some point to go back and forth a variable number of days.
Yeah, because something that always stinks is, okay, I missed something toward the, like, on the 3rd morning, but now I have to go back to day 1, and then I can speed up time, then I have to stop speeding it up at a certain point, so yeah. Interesting that they said they wanted to go for something where you would have a different experience every time, and I get that. I think that's admirable, but what the game makes me want to do is it brings out the opposite. Now I know everybody's in the same position on the same day, and I just have to figure out what that is. So it's more of a, like, memorizing everything to have the same experience. I realize you can try different things, but I almost feel like it pushes back in the opposite way. So.
They cited the 1998 film Run Lola Run as inspiration for the time loop concept. I've never seen Run Lola Run. I had no idea it was a time loop movie.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a time loop either.
I've heard of it.
I know
I've never
she had
seen
limited time to do something, but I didn't know there was a loop.
Yeah. And I watched Christopher Bingham's like big collection of here's all of the gazillion time loop movies and shows and everything that I've watched, and I don't remember this one. Possibly because it was very long and I zoned out by the time he got to it, but So that's neat. The idea of, let's see, Koizuma said the idea of the moon falling came from one of his dreams. So that's awful. Reflecting on the mature and melancholy tone, Aonuma felt that players of Ocarina of Time had grown up somewhat and could be motivated by emotions like sadness and regret. Man. They went hard on the sadness and regret.
Yes.
Because, like, even I know about the quest with the 2 people getting married.
Yeah.
Like, it...
On.
What was that? Oh, did we lose him again?
I think so.
I love this high-tech nonsense.
And you meet their loved ones and,
there
friends
he is.
and family members.
We lost you for all of that, Mike. Do it again.
Okay. Yeah, and the transformation masks you get, the big ones, the Deku mask, the Goron mask, and the Zora mask, are from the spirits of people in Termina who have died, and you meet their friends and family and other loved ones as you go on your quest.
And each transformation with the mask looks like Link is in agony.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of gets contorted and screams. So
Yeah, like this is like a werewolf transformation, not like Mystique from X-Men transformation.
Hmm.
That's another thing that always freaked me out about this game was when I would see footage of him putting on the mask and then it turns into a horror movie for a few seconds. But yeah, so the idea is you figure out what you need to do and then you go back and then you do it and you get the reward or the knowledge or the whatever, for completing this task. And then you just keep doing that, going further and further into the 3-day cycle. You get the ability to slow down time by half. You get the ability to jump forward to each night or each morning.
Yes. You can jump half a day forward. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can, you don't have to just wander around for however long it takes. But you've got essentially a list of tasks you need to do, and you do it. Which, if you think about it, is what you're doing in every Zelda game.
Mm-hmm.
Except this one, instead of them taking place geographically, they take place chronologically.
Right.
Which is, hard for some people to wrap their brain around. I guess I've never played this game because it was always intimidating. Like, I've had the capability of emulating Majora's Mask for a very long time. Have I ever taken the plunge, though? I have not.
Yeah. I mentioned in the pre-show discussion that I started to do a second playthrough when I was in grad school. And I think I was using a game facts guide to help me along, try to make it go a little quicker. I actually just downloaded it straight onto my computer versus looking it up all the time. But at a certain point, I was just like, ugh, I was too busy with other stuff, and I had to set it down. And I never picked it back up again.
It does not seem like a game that you can set down for any amount of time and pick back up.
You got to stick with it. You got to stick with it, otherwise you lose the flow of what you're supposed to be doing.
That is absolutely true.
Yeah, at some point before I die, hopefully, I will get around to these two games and actually, play and beat them properly. But it is not this day.
Yeah. I think Majora's Mask is well worth it. It was fun. It was good. You felt like you're really accomplishing something whenever you do something. When you meet your next milestone and eventually beat the game.
Like, I was... Yeah, today, actually, while I was dashing, I was listening to a podcast. It was RPG Fans Retro Encounter. They did a 2-part Legend of Zelda tier list where they've got a tier list that goes from S, I think, to D.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there are 4 people on the show, and they're placing the Zelda games into a Zelda game tier list. And like the third everybody gets 1 veto. And the third person goes, Majora's Mask, I'm going to put it in the A tier. And there's also a rule where you can't put something in the same tier as the previous one. So someone else had just put something else in S. So he goes, Majora's Mask, I'm going to put it in A. And someone goes, wait, do I use my veto now or do I wait? And they were like, let him talk. And he talked. And then they were like, yeah, I'm still going to veto it. And they moved it from A to S. And I went, that is not what I expected. And everybody went, thank you. And I said, that is equally not what I expected.
Gosh.
So like I said, you either don't like this game at all or you absolutely love this game. Or you're like me and have never touched it. So I forget. Dirk, did you play this one?
Nope.
Okay, then. That would explain why Dirk's been kind of quiet.
I literally have played 0 time on this game. Yeah.
Me too, buddy.
I knew this one would be like a Mike special, which is good.
Yeah.
Because Mike hasn't played all the other games, so.
No.
I actually really like this game, and I think I want to retry it. The problem is that I have a save file where I've beaten 3 of the 4 dungeons, and I'm kind of afraid of, like, do I have to start all the way over? Because I last touched it, like, 40 years ago. So,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could try, but you're going to be like,
That's what I would do at all points of playing this game, I'm sure. I don't know what happened. When I was a kid, if I didn't know what I was doing, I would, consult a Nintendo Power or something.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I've said before, we had the maps for, like, all of the Zelda dungeons, except for level 9. And because the old man had to make his own, and there would always be where am I going? I don't know. And I'd open up the book and be like, if from where you are it's like 1 up and 2 over. I'd be like, I didn't even go that way yet. But for some reason, as I've gotten older, I just don't want to look something up unless it pisses me off.
Yeah.
Which is another reason that I find a game like this super intimidating, because especially if I do it on stream, where when I'm streaming I have this feel that I have to be making progress,
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm playing Halo and I'm dying in the same room over and over and over, I get annoyed because this is getting old for the viewers.
Yeah.
And that's part of why I don't play Metroidvanias on stream hardly ever. It's because Metroidvanias, a large chunk of a bunch of them, is just getting lost and wandering around. And I hate doing that on stream. And so those two things paired together of always feeling like I need to be progressing and being obstinate about looking up what the hell I'm supposed to do, I think would make me hate this game. And it wouldn't be the game's fault.
Uh-huh.
So that's the other thing. I really need to learn to play more games off stream. But that's a thing I've been trying to work on. But I don't know, like, I think the reputation, because I love time loops. Time loop movies are like some of my favorite. I love the idea of the time loop, and the storytelling possibilities and the character growth possibilities, and just the thinking about what would you do, man. I don't even know. And then, like, the thing that always trips me out about Groundhog Day, just to go off on a small tangent, is that, like, what he's lived in this time loop of this one day for anywhere from, months to years to centuries, depending on who you ask.
Yeah, I've heard the reasoning that to cultivate the skills that he demonstrates later on, it would have to been several lifetimes.
I mean, I think those people are overestimating and thinking he's only working on one thing at a time. But, anyway. What sort of psychological damage happens once he's not in that safety where he knows where everything's going to happen? How do you go on with life after that? That's the sort of thing that trips me out about stuff like that. And to my knowledge, no one's made that movie. Well, no, that's not true. It was in the Tom Cruise one. It's got
with
the
the
two different
alien?
names.
Wait, Vanilla Sky? No.
Top Gun? What the hell is that? Damn it, Tom Cruise.
Edge of Tomorrow?
Time loop movie. It's
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow or Live, Die, Repeat, depending on where you are and whatnot. Yeah.
Weird.
And yeah, the time loop in that doesn't last. You know, at the climax of the movie, he gets kicked out of it. Spoilers, I guess. And has to, like, go on without that safety net. Personally, I think that happens too early in the movie for it to be satisfying. But still, that's the only one I'm aware of that's ever touched that. And that's the sort of thing that I think this game especially makes you question, because in this, everything is awful and we're all gonna die at the end of the loop.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean in this time loop it's better when you get out? I bet it is. I don't know. I'm sorry I went off on a tangent here because the time loop thing fascinates me. But I say all that to say that even with that, this game still intimidates me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway, it is just a brilliant bit of Nintendo going, hey, let's do something different. Which Nintendo takes a lot of crap, most of it deserved, for a bunch of their practices. But they don't release one of their flagship titles unless they've got a reason to.
Yeah.
You know, they like Nintendo's not pumping out a Mario game every year.
Yeah.
They're not just barfing Zeldas out left and right. Every Zelda game is its own thing, and this one is way far afield, but it's still its own thing. It's just super experimental and crazy and weird and unlike literally all the others. And I think that scared away a lot of people originally, because I think this thing had like a good reception, but not great sales. Never mind, it was the 4th best-selling game of 2000 in the United States. In Europe, it was the 8th highest grossing game of 2000. Okay, never mind. Maybe because it's weird and not your standard Zelda game, you only hear about it in stuff like this, where someone's hitting them all or talking about weirdness in this game specifically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. Oh, when I was looking up stuff to check for anything important we missed, this was one of the very few games that required the N64 expansion pack to play.
Really?
Yes, it required it wouldn't run. And I do remember because I think when we got it, either we tried it out on someone else's console that didn't have it, or we tried it out before we got the expansion pack. But when you put the cartridge in and turn it on, it just gives you like just a screen with the mask. It's like, nope, you need the expansion pack.
I had forgotten that.
Me too.
Man. So, yeah, it's kind of a big deal, is what we're saying.
It's a little bit, in case you didn't pick that up over the last
Yeah.
however long.
And unlike the 3D Zelda games going forward, like this is the only one that I feel bad that I haven't played. It was, let's see here. It was on the collector's edition, GameCube disc. Oh, and it was on the Wii Virtual Console.
Cool.
Similar deal. What? It could download it onto. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and there was a 3DS remake. I knew I was missing something obvious. Yeah. That, from what I understand, added some 3DS stuff.
That's the version that I own.
You had the second stick to make, camera control more betterer.
Mm-hmm.
What does this say? Altered boss battles, an additional fishing mini game. Oh.
Neat.
Interesting. That's all it says though. How was that? Yeah, pretty generally positive reviews. Okay. Makes sense to me. Oh well, we should wrap this up, huh?
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Let us know what you think of Link's Awakening, either version, and Ocarina and Majora's Mask. It's all very, very strange. Like, think about, okay, real quick, think about where we are in the series right now. You had the first Zelda, which was a top-down, super open world adventure game. You had Zelda 2, which was mostly a side-scroller. That's weird. You had Link to the Past, which went back, did the top-down thing, bigger and better and badder, in 16-bit glory. Then there was the little side quest that was top-down again with Link's Awakening, but that was on the Game Boy, so yeah, whatever, Y'all have fun with that. You want to use Goombas? Screw it, use Goombas. Wart? Yeah, you could put Wart in there. Who cares about Wart? Literally, who cares about Wart? We haven't seen him since Mario 2. Anyway, and then they went, okay, let's move into 3D. We'll do the traditional 3D Zelda thing. And then we'll have a sequel to that is completely off the wall insanity. But because we can make it quick, we'll make it. It's still crazy to me that they only had like a year to put this together, and it came out as good as it did.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure that's also part of the reason why they reuse so many of the art assets.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That sped things up a lot.
But the series has been all over the place. Like, you've had your standard Zelda thing that what would eventually be known as a standard Zelda thing. But then, like, every other one is something crazy.
Yeah, it is.
And I love that.
It's like the Star Trek movies.
Yeah, except these have all been good. So well. I'm very excited to see how far we can get on the next episode, because the next episode will cover the 2 Oracles games, 4 Swords, which I don't even remember what that is, the Wind Waker, which was the last Zelda game I think that I played at all until Link's Awakening, and then I guess we'll see how much further than that we can get, if at all.
Mm-hmm.
This was a good time to be a Zelda fan. Like, 98 was Ocarina of Time in the Game Boy Color DX version of Link's Awakening. 2000 was Majora's Mask. You got the handheld Oracle games in 2001. 2002 we got another handheld and the Wind Waker. Like, damn. So yeah. All right then. So, assuming we're done with that.
Time. Yeah.
How about some final thoughts?
So, I'm gonna say mine and then I'm gonna head out because I am barely conscious. But 2 things. Number 1, I had a follow. I can't remember if I mentioned this last week or not, but I had a follow up with my retinal specialist, and he needed to do another laser treatment, which I went in for today. And he says it was successful. He says he got all of the blood, which is great. Um, but I left feeling pretty sore. Like my eye actually felt sore, which is kind of an interesting sensation for me. But
Mhm.
I've been extremely tired all day, but I was glad I was able to do this. Other thing is, um, I was able to see Spider-Man Brand New Day this week. We tried to go last week, and they had, I think I said this in the odds and ends last week, but um, they had to shut down the theater for a while because probably someone vaping. Thanks. But now I've seen it, and I see why it's making all the money because it is ridiculously good. There's been some good films lately. I enjoyed The Odyssey. I've enjoyed Spider-Man. I've even enjoyed some films that didn't have Tom Holland or Zendaya in them. But,
I don't believe it.
but this is totally worth your time and is worth your time to see in the theater. Absolutely. So if you haven't seen it yet, I would say try to make the time to do that if you have it. There were 2 times at least in the theater that I sat up straight and I was like, they did that? Holy crap, in a good way. But yeah. So that's what I got. I'm gonna go lie down and get some sleep. You guys have a great night, and I will see some of you hopefully very soon.
Yeah,
Awesome.
maybe.
For me, um, I guess my final thought is I've got my parents' dog because they are traveling, and it's fun having 2 dogs in a good way. It's just, it's a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, when you're not used to it, it's
And they're still, I mean, they're still There's both of them are like their brother and sister, and they are less than a year old. So they still have accidents. They still but they're doing good overall. I have to actively pay attention to what they're doing, is the thing. But aside from that,
all right.
I'm also tired. I'm going to bed too.
All right, go to bed.
So, all right. Well, you guys have a wonderful evening.
Thanks.
No problem, guys. Bye.
I mean, what? Mike, was it you who went pew pew pew?
Yes.
I don't know if Brian heard you because he was talking, so I think he thinks I was just laughing at him.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell whether he was pausing because you were making noise or because he noticed me. I don't know. But yeah, like Chewy said, this was a great time to be a fan of the Zelda games because there was just so much good stuff to play in those years, right after the other. And that's when I did the vast majority of my Legend of Zelda playing these 3 games that we talked about right here. Each one of them was awesome. Each one of them was really special and innovative and unique. And yeah, I'm really glad that I was fortunate enough to get in on them. They were a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, I'm kind of sad that I'm done with these conversations now. I'm just gonna have to. All I can add is what I've gleaned over the years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know what. I still haven't figured out exactly what it is about the 3D Zeldas that just didn't do it for me.
I started
Scuzzo's in
playing
the
Wind
chat.
Waker.
He just said, I have the Hylian crest tattooed on my back.
Nice.
Whoa. Yeah, I know a lot of people that have Zelda-related tattoos now that I think about it, weirdly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Huh. But that's awesome. Take your shirt off, send me a picture. I mean, what? What? But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just, I mean, it's obviously just me. It's not like they're bad games.
Mm.
But I don't know. I've never put it together. I've had a couple of like Zelda-like games on my list for a while, like Okami is a Zelda-like.
Yeah. That's another one that I started playing and loved, and then set down and never got back to.
There's another big one. The first Darksiders game was widely referred to as a Zelda-like, and because I just mentioned it in the chat, yeah, and is one I've owned for years. But I don't know, it just something about 3D Zelda did not mesh with my brain, and so I abandoned. I went back to it for Wind Waker. I never finished Wind Waker either.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember why. I remember really liking Wind Waker, which we'll get to on that episode once we get to it, but I don't remember why I stopped playing it.
I remember. I got to an area that felt like, oh, is this the final area? I feel like there's still a lot of other stuff I need to do. I don't know. I don't feel like going any further right now. And then I never booted up the game again for some reason.
What? Man, you're bad about putting down Zelda games and not touching them again. Have you noticed this?
Yeah, I am.
I mean, I am too. I've got 2 in a row there, but chat, we're the worst. Oh well. What kind of final thoughts you got there, Beardy Man?
Oh, I already gave them.
Oh. Okay then. Well, as for me then, speaking of old games, I've started streaming the first Halo because I've never played Halo. Halo Wars doesn't count. That's a whole other animal.
Okay, I was confused for a second. Yeah, that's right. You played Halo Wars.
Yeah. And I borrowed Halo 3 from Squanto and played some of it and then gave it back. So, I've never finished a Halo that isn't a real-time strategy offshoot. So, I've got the Master Chief Collection, so I've got 6 games right there, and I decided, screw it, let's start playing the Halo games, and I'm officially halfway through the first one. So, I think I'll be running into the flood soon, and then I'll cry myself to sleep that night. Other than that, I've been streaming Power Wash Simulator 2, which somehow they've managed to make this game even more satisfying than the first one. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, I hadn't touched it. It was the game I was playing when my computer blue screened for not RAM purposes, and I thought there was something up with Power Wash Simulator 2 because I was on the first like big level, like really big level, and I had a new tool that cleans flat surfaces like in a wide area, and I thought something about that, my computer couldn't handle. And then when the computer came back, I fired up the stream again and said, all right, let's try that again, and went back in and it crashed again. And I said, well, okay, that stream's over. And I sat around for a few minutes and went, I think I'll play some Baldur's Gate 3. And played some Baldur's Gate 3, and the computer crashed again, and I went, oh. Okay, well, that's good. It's not Power Wash Simulator 2. Yeah, eventually I figured out it was the power supply, and all is well now. So, yeah, I went back and did more Power Wash Simulator 2. There's a scissor lift now. They've overhauled how soap works. I said on stream, I really love what they've done with soap in this game. And what kind of an idiot do I sound like out of context? I think we lost Mike again.
What'd you say?
Yep, there he is.
What'd you say?
I said a sentence out loud that made me feel like an idiot, and that's I really love what they've done with soap in this game.
Oh.
Because in the first game you had to like buy soap, and there were limited quantities and limited amount of soap you could buy in each level. So I just never used soap. But in Power Simulator 2, it's just a thing you can do. So if you run into a thing that you can't wash off easily, you just hit it with soap and then run water across it, and it just comes right off. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I had a scissor lift at one point that was very smooth. I'm like, ooh, look at this. They've added ladders to the outside of the scaffolding, so you don't have to make yourself dizzy to get up to the top. You can just climb the ladder on the side. That made me unreasonably happy. And I was cleaning a billboard, and they've got a thing. What, an abseil? Is that the word? It's
sure.
like the thing that like window washers use. It hangs from the top of it hung from the top of the billboard, and I could put myself in the little seat and move up and down. Instead of being, 2-dimensional horizontally, I was moving 2-dimensional vertically, and it made cleaning the billboard super easy and satisfying. And I was like, oh. I love this game so much. And there's a Star Wars DLC pack that I'll get to once I finish the base game. Because yes, I play the base game first, even though it doesn't matter. Shut up. Yeah, so I've been streaming Halo 1, not the remake, the campaign evolved. No, the Master Chief Collection version. So the original Halo 1. There's a button you can push, Mike, on the controller to swap back and forth from old graphics to new graphics, and it's fascinating.
Oh, that's
You just hit. I still call it the select button because I grew up with the Nintendo controller, but
right.
You hit that button, and it just whoop. And every room I go into, I'm like, flip it back and forth a few times. Oh, look at that. And I've been streaming How Many Dudes, which is a roguelike auto battler that is really stupid, and I love it with my whole chest. It's so dumb, and I love it.
That's funny.
So yeah, that's what's been going on over on twitch.tv/themanapool here lately. Oh yeah, and Archon Soul, which is it's a roguelike in the vein of Slay the Spire, but you use dice. And it's much deeper than that makes it sound. Like, it's way deeper than I think it should be. Not in a bad way. They managed to do things that I did not expect at all. So, yeah. I've done one stream of that. I'll do more. I sort of decided on a whim to start Halo, and now I'm stuck with it. Because I'm not going to put it down and not pick it up again. Like it was a Zelda game or something. But yeah, so come hang out. I try to stream most nights. I've been doing some day streams even, because I did like 2 weeks with no streams, and I was jonesing, so yeah. Come hang out while I'm streaming. We'll chat. It's fun. But yeah, with that, I guess we'll stop. So this has been episode 759 of the Mana Pool, our second Legend of Zelda retrospective episode. And yeah, let us know how you feel about all of these Zelda games, which ones you played and liked and all that as we go. Kick up a conversation. I love hearing about people's experiences with stuff like this, which is why, we're doing this series. So yeah, we'll be done now. So thank you all so very much for joining us. And hey, listen, we got through the entire Ocarina of Time without doing that once. Did you notice?
Brian said it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, faintly in the background. We passed him by without acknowledging it at all.
Oh, it's probably because I didn't hear him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. We almost got through the entire Ocarina of Time. Oh Lord. Okay, bye.